Hello, and welcome to Part in the Integration Market to Impress, Sell with Success, where we discuss top trends in the channel today. I'm your host, Katie Bavoso from the Channel Company. The global IT channel is made up of hundreds of different businesses offering dozens of solutions and services, and are often competing for customers who are looking for providers who can use technology to solve their business challenges and help scale for success. So as an MSP, how do you show up differently, win the business, and keep customers coming back for more? Well, that's exactly what we'll discuss today. Joining me now to explain Ingram Micro's philosophy and marketing resources for MSPs is Dennis Krupe, Vice President of U.S. Marketing at Ingram Micro. The way the podcast works is we have 3 topics with 3 minutes to talk about each. So let's get started with topic 1, brand position. So Dennis, first of all, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to talk to you about this very important topic. So first question, it's important to stand out from the competition to get ahead. We all know that. But what steps can a partner take to go about doing this?
Katie, first of all, thanks a lot for having me. I'm glad to be here. Brand positioning, of course, if you ask me, it's the most important thing for an MSP to consider. A lot of our MSPs got into this business because they're really great at technology, wicked smart people. But what we're trying to help them with and to understand is their brand position is very important, particularly as we've all moved from the break-fix world and products and solutions into the services-led economy that we're in. It's more about the way that you'll be there for your end customer, what your business stands for. These days, a lot of, not just consumers, but in a B2B environment, partners want to know what the businesses they choose to partner with, what do they stand for? What are their values? It's important in this economy more than ever.
Dennis, with that in mind, I'm sure everybody tries to take some risks sometimes that don't really pan out. So what are some common mistakes channel providers make when positioning themselves in the market?
The more the MSP can go beyond the endpoint, as we say, and talk in the language of the end customer and the things that they care about, the better. So don't show up talking about speeds and feeds, and as much as you love the technology, you've got to talk about the business that the technology is helping to drive. Another thing that comes to mind is just failure to lead with their brand. The end customer trusts the MSP that they choose to partner with. The end customer doesn't necessarily think about what brands are in the technology. So they think about the partners that they choose to deal with and how that partner is going to help them run a better business. So lead with your brand and talk about the end customer's pain points as much, if not more, than you talk about the technology.
Dennis, how can Ingram Micro help partners develop their brand?
Well, I'll tell you that agency Ingram Micro, number one, is in the business of helping our partners develop their brand. So that's what we live for. We are a channel dedicated agency, and we just live and breathe the IT channel, and we help MSPs on a daily basis develop their brand and communicate their brand in a number of ways. Ingram Micro also has to pay a lot of attention to our brand. Our brand position is that we help businesses run better, grow faster, and do more for their customers.
Well, let's keep this conversation going in our second segment, demand generation. So when it comes to marketing, Dennis, it seems like everyone's got a platform. But what do channel partners need to know when it comes to creating and managing demand generation?
Well, the first thing is that it's not the platform doesn't have the silver bullet. Demand gen is hard, and it takes people. A lot of people want to go straight to a platform, put out content, and think that their job is done. The job has just begun at that point. We need marketing professionals. I would recommend all MSPs who are serious about lead gen and growth through marketing hire a very qualified digital marketing manager who can man that platform and drive content on a daily basis and nurture those leads down through the funnel. This takes a lot of good content that leads with the MSP's differentiators, not just the technologies, and targets those end customers and nurtures them through to fruition. The other thing that's very important for MSPs to understand is it takes process. It's not just about a marketing manager and a platform, but they need a good handoff process between their marketing resources and their sales team.
Dennis, you actually just mentioned one of the three important P's that we're going to go over right now: purpose, process, and profitability. Can you explain your breakdown, Ingram Micro's breakdown of purpose, process, and profitability?
Yeah, I think the first two P's lead to the third P. Really, when we have a purpose and we clearly, we take the time to do the heavy lifting to identify our purpose, our brand position, or our differentiators, and then we add some process to that. Disciplined process around a regular marketing cadence, wash, rinse, repeat. Then this leads to profitable business. We have to delineate where we want our business to come from. For instance, we could sell, lots of stuff at a low margin, and it takes a lot of work and people and process to make that happen, but it might not be profitable business. If we're going after higher margin business, maybe we want to take time to identify smaller audiences, target smaller audiences versus the spray and pray, everybody come one, come all model, and go after fewer end customers that are going to yield a higher return in terms of profitability and a longer term relationship, which is a sustainable profitability into the future. So when we know what our purpose is or our brand promise, when we add people, the right people and the right process to the mix, and we're disciplined with that, and when we have the guts to take the less is more avenue, we will find long-term sustainable profitable growth with fewer partners who are going to be long-term partners.
So Dennis, what can our viewers start doing today to begin generating more demand for their solutions and services?
I think now's a great time for them to stop and assess where their brand position is. Do they have a good brand platform? Do they have a modern look and feel? I think that's number one. Number two, assess their clientele, right? Where is the profitable business coming from? As we've moved from this break-fix model into this services-led cloud economy, maybe they need to rationalize their end customer roster. Where is the profitable business coming from? What type of customers do we have now that we want to replicate, and decide which way we want to go in terms of lead generation. And then it's just get busy with that process and be disciplined about it.
That brings us into our final topic, topic 3, showing up differently. Dennis, how can channel providers change or adjust their conversations with clients to better position their businesses?
Yeah, I think it's, again, what I'd call going beyond the endpoint. You've got to talk a mean game about technology, especially with your IT counterparts at the end business. But the more our MSPs can go beyond the endpoint and talk about things like business automation, business processes, the operational pain points and needs of the end customer, technology can solve these problems. And the more the MSP can talk in terms of the operational language and pain points and needs of the end customer, and then show how technology can help alleviate and help make those pain points more productive or solve them, the more they're going to win business, because they're talking differently, guaranteed, about most of their competition out there in the field.
So let's talk about what that looks like. We talk about going beyond the endpoint, but can you define the difference between a business outcome-led conversation versus a technology-led conversation with customers? And why is one more successful than the other?
Rather than showing up talking about the technology, show up and talk about the business, operations, accounting, their marketing needs. What kind of business are they in? What do their end customers look like? The more we're talking in terms of what drives that business, I guarantee this automatically differentiates you from most other technologists who are just going to get in there and talk about what they're comfortable talking about, which is the technology. I also guarantee you that the C-level leadership of all these end businesses do not care about the technology or the brands that are in their solution stack. They only care about their own business.
Dennis, last question today. How can Ingram Micro help partners show up differently with more success than if they go it alone?
Ingram Micro being the brand, the business behind the brands. I mean, let's talk about the value-added services, because distribution, we can argue, is a relatively level playing field when it comes to just, allocating product from all the great manufacturers out there. We're all doing it. We all have access to most of the same vendor partners. So how is Ingram Micro different? It's different because we're financing in ways that no bank or other distributor on the planet is going to finance our MSPs. That's a big deal. Marketing services, training services, professional services. A list of value-added services longer than my arm is what Ingram Micro leads with to let the MSPs understand that beyond product and technology allocation, we will help you run your business better, grow your business faster, and do more for your customers by way of these value-added services that you just won't find anyplace else.
Dennis, thanks so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure speaking to you and talking about this very important topic. And thank you at home for joining us. But before we go, folks, I'd like to take a minute to go over my top 3 takeaways from today's discussion. 1. Your brand positioning is about more than what you sell. It's about what your company stands for and how you can help your end customers run a better business. Differentiate your business by leading with your brand, not your vendor's brand. 2. Go beyond the endpoint and lead conversations with customers with how you can solve their business problems rather than what technology you offer. And 3. Agency Ingram Micro is in the business of brand development and can help you find and promote what makes you stand out from the competition. Thank you for watching or listening to this episode of Pardon the Integration, Market to Impress, Sell with Success. Once more, I'm Katie Bavoso, and I'll see you next time.